When she comes back after hurting you, one of the strongest reasons is familiarity and comfort. No matter how far she goes, no matter who she meets, there's something about the bond you once shared that creates a sense of safety she struggles to replace. Even if she made choices that cut deep, even if she walked away or treated you carelessly, deep down she remembers that with you, she didn't have to wear a mask. You once gave her acceptance, you once gave her space to be herself, and that kind of regret is one of the most powerful forces that can pull someone back into your life after they've hurt you. At first, when she walks away or causes pain, she may not even realize the weight of her actions. In the heat of the moment, she might feel confident in her choices, convinced that she's better off, or that she can find something more exciting, more validating, or more fulfilling elsewhere. But time has a way of stripping away illusions. When the noise quiets down and the temporary highs fade, she starts to see the difference between what she thought she wanted and what she actually had with you. That's when regret begins to creep in. Regret doesn't hit all at once. It often comes in waves. It starts with small memories, a laugh you shared, the way you supported her, the sense of stability she felt when she was around you. These little reminders grow louder the more she realizes that the outside world doesn't offer the same depth of connection. At first, she might fight it. She may distract herself, keep busy, or seek validation from others. But deep down, that voice of realization is hard to silence. The very things she once took for granted start to feel like luxuries she can't easily find again. Hurtful actions are often impulsive. People make choices without thinking about the long-term consequences, and only after the damage is done do they begin to see clearly. For her, seeing you pull away, move on, or even thrive without her can amplify that regret. It's not just the absence of your presence, it's the stark contrast between what she left behind and what she thought she would find. That realization burns, forces her to look inward and question why she let go of something real in exchange for something temporary. This is why so many people come back after hurting someone they once had a strong bond with. It isn't always love that drives them back at first. It's the weight of realizing they lost someone who truly mattered. Regret acts like a mirror, showing her the mistakes she made and the reality that not everyone will treat her with the same patience, respect, and care that you once did. But here's where your strength comes in. Her regret might bring her back to your door, but that doesn't mean you have to welcome her the same way you did before. You have to understand that regret belongs to her. It's her burden to carry, her lesson to learn. You don't have to be the safety net she runs back to whenever life doesn't go her way. What you can take from this is the truth that her return doesn't define your worth. It only proves that she finally recognized it, even if it took losing you to see it. And that's the real power, knowing that her regret is nothing more than confirmation of the value you already had. One of the biggest reasons she comes back after hurting you is because of the power of your absence. When you stop reaching out, when you stop checking in, when you stop pouring your energy into someone who took you for granted, the silence becomes louder than anything you could ever say. At first, she might think your distance doesn't matter. She might believe you'll always be there, waiting in the background, ready to pick up the pieces whenever she feels like returning. But when your absence becomes consistent, when she realizes you're no longer giving her your attention, she starts to feel a void she didn't expect. Attention is addictive. The validation you once gave her, the comfort of knowing you cared, and the security of your presence became part of her world, whether she admitted it or not. When that energy suddenly disappears, she feels the emptiness. She begins to question why the texts don't come, why the calls stopped, why you no longer respond the way you used to. That shift unsettles her because it forces her to face the truth. She no longer has the same access to you, and that loss stings. The silence does something powerful. It holds up a mirror. In that mirror, she sees the difference between the man who once gave her attention and the reality of being without it. Your absence makes her reconsider her choices, because while she was busy chasing distractions or believing she could find better, she forgot that consistency, loyalty, and genuine care are not things that come around every day. The moment she feels the weight of your absence, she starts to understand your value in ways she didn't before. And here's the thing, absence creates curiosity. People naturally want what they no longer have access to. The more you pull back, the more she wonders what you're doing, who you're with, and whether you've moved on. That curiosity can quickly turn into longing because she remembers what it felt like to have your energy centered on her, and now she has to face life without it. It's often not until you truly step away that someone realizes what they lost. But the most important part of this is that your absence only has power if you maintain it. If you break the silence too soon, if you rush to fill the gap, she never fully feels the consequences of her actions. But when you hold your ground and stay focused on yourself, she begins to experience the reality of what it's like to live without you. And that's what pulls her back, not because she suddenly changed overnight, but because your absence made her confront the truth she was avoiding. At the end of the day, your silence is not about punishment, it's about self-respect. And when you hold that line, you teach her something she won't forget. Losing access to you is the real price of hurting you. Sometimes when she comes back after hurting you, it isn't only because she misses you, it's because she wants to see if she still has influence over you. This is one of the most common reasons people return after walking away. It's not always about love. It's not always about realizing your worth. Often, it's about testing your strength and checking if they still hold power in your life. When someone has had access to your emotions before, they know how deeply you cared, and a part of them wonders if they still have that same pull. So they come back, not always with pure intentions, but to measure your reaction. The test is subtle. She may reach out with a casual text, a comment on your post, or an innocent question that doesn't seem important on the surface, but behind it is curiosity. Does he still care? Will he respond right away? Will he drop everything the way he used to? That's what she's really trying to find out. If you jump at the first sign of attention, she confirms in her mind that nothing has changed, that you're still there, waiting. But if you respond differently, calmly, confidently, without eagerness, you show her that you've grown stronger, that her hold over you isn't the same anymore. This is where many men slip up. They confuse her return for love when in reality it's just a test. She wants to know if she can still walk back into your life as easily as she left it. If you welcome her without hesitation, she learns nothing. But if you stand tall, if you hold on to your boundaries and show that you're no longer the man she once took for granted, the entire dynamic changes. Suddenly, she realizes that she no longer controls the game. Being tested like this can feel unfair, but in truth, it's an opportunity. It's a chance for you to demonstrate that your strength doesn't break at the first sign of attention. It's a moment to prove, not to her, but to yourself, that you've grown past the point of needing validation from someone who hurt you. And when you pass that test, by standing firm, you shift the power back where it belongs, with you. Understand this, people often test what they don't fully value. By checking whether you're still available, she's really checking whether she made a mistake by leaving. She may not admit it, but your reaction answers that question for her. If you've evolved, if you've learned not to settle for being treated as an option, then your response, or sometimes your lack of response, will teach her that the version of you she once knew no longer exists. And that's why tests like these are so significant. They reveal both her intentions and your growth. When you see it clearly for what it is, you stop being controlled by it. And when she realizes she no longer has that influence, that's when she truly understands what it means to lose you. When she comes back after hurting you, one powerful reason is because she sees the growth you've made in her absence. People are naturally drawn to progress. They are attracted to those who evolve, who refuse to stay stuck in the same place, who take pain and turn it into fuel. If you've used the time apart to level up, maybe by focusing on your career, your fitness, your confidence, or simply your mindset, that change doesn't go unnoticed. She may have thought you would crumble without her, but when she looks back and sees that you didn't just survive, you thrived, it challenges the picture she had of you in her mind. That new version of you becomes magnetic. Growth has a unique kind of power. It speaks without words. You don't have to tell her you've changed. She can see it. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you respond differently, the way your energy is no longer desperate but calm and secure. It's in the fact that you no longer chase what walked away from you, but instead invest in yourself and attract better into your life. That shift is undeniable, and it has a pull that makes her curious. She remembers the man you used to be, but she's confronted with the reality of the man you've become. And often that contrast is what drives her back. For many women, seeing growth in a man after leaving him creates an unexpected effect. It makes them question their decision. She may start to wonder, did I let go of him too soon? Did I underestimate what he could become? Because in her mind, she left one version of you, but now she sees another, stronger, wiser, more confident, more focused. That new version challenges her assumptions, and it forces her to reevaluate. This is why investing in yourself after being hurt is so important. It's not about making her jealous or trying to prove her wrong. It's about reclaiming your power, improving your life for yourself, and becoming the kind of man who doesn't need anyone's validation to feel whole. When you focus on building yourself up, you naturally command respect. And ironically, that's often when the very people who overlooked you start to notice you again. But here's the truth. Her attraction to your growth doesn't mean you owe her anything. Just because she recognizes the progress you've made doesn't mean she deserves access to it. Her return is a reflection of the fact that she now sees value in what she once dismissed, but that's her lesson to learn, not yours to fix. Your responsibility is to protect the progress you've made and to never sacrifice it for the comfort of someone who didn't value you when it mattered most. Because at the end of the day, her coming back is not proof of her love, it's proof of your transformation. And that transformation is something no one can ever take from you. Another powerful reason she comes back after hurting you is fear of replacement. Nothing shakes a person more than realizing they are no longer as important as they once believed. When she thought you would always be there, when she assumed you would wait no matter how she treated you, she felt secure in her position in your life. But the moment she sees you moving on, the moment she feels another woman could be stepping into the space she once occupied, panic begins to set in. That fear of losing her place in your world is enough to drive her back, not always because of love, but because of the deep human instinct to not be replaced. When she notices you withdrawing your attention, when she realizes you're no longer chasing, it sends a message. Your life is continuing without her. And if she catches even the smallest glimpse of you growing, smiling, connecting with others, or simply living fully, she feels the possibility that someone else might see the value she overlooked. That's when fear kicks in. Suddenly, the idea of you being happy without her isn't just uncomfortable, it's threatening. The thought of replacement forces her to confront the reality she's been avoiding. She begins to replay the moments when she had your full attention, when she knew she was the center of your world, and she compares it to the possibility of someone else receiving that same energy. That realization is heavy because it means she doesn't have the same hold on you anymore. And people often come back not because they appreciate what they lost, but because they can't stomach the idea of someone else gaining it. This fear reveals something important. Her return is not always about genuine connection. Sometimes it's about control. She may come back to reassert her place, to see if she can still stop you from moving forward, or to remind herself that she still has influence over your life. If you give in easily, you confirm her fears were right, that you were never truly gone, that she never really lost her spot. But if you hold firm, if you continue focusing on your growth and your future, her fear deepens because she realizes you're no longer waiting for her. Replacement is a powerful motivator because it touches on ego, pride, and identity. No one likes to be replaced, especially by someone they once believed they had complete control over. Her fear of being forgotten, of being erased from your story, is what often pushes her to reach back out, even after causing you pain. But here's where your strength matters most. You can't let her fear dictate your choices. Just because she's scared of losing her place doesn't mean she deserves it back. What matters is that you've built a life that no longer revolves around her. Because the greatest power you can have is showing her and yourself that you don't fear replacing her because you already know your value. And that truth is unforgettable.